56% of Americans now suspect COVID-19 vaccine cause mass deaths. Wow. I can't believe that number is that high. But how long have I been warning people about the jabby jabs? I never got it myself. I was skeptical from the beginning. I try to warn people. It's so sad that so many people fell for it. So many people, millions of people fell for it. And now I work with several clients that have gotten pericarditis, myocarditis, all types of stuff, long COVID, all types of stuff from taking the jab. And I actually had one client was like that told me was like, yeah, I was seeing doctors about my symptoms and stuff right after I took the jab, and they were saying it was everything else but the jab, because the doctors were terrified to actually blame the jab for it. They were terrified because they were afraid they would be ridiculed, even though they had patients complaining about the after effects of the jab. But the client told me that they end up finding another doctor that actually knew what was going on, that wasn't afraid to call it what it was, and found out they had pericarditis and was able. But it could have been. They said that it could have been the pericarditis could have been not prevented. It could have been dealt with a lot. If it was dealt with a lot sooner, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. But she had to go through so many doctors to try to find out what was really going on, and that caused it to get worse. And it's sad. It's sad that doctors were so afraid to speak truth to power at that time, and then people was getting censored. Doctors was getting censored for speaking the truth. And if you would have told me before COVID that things like this was going to happen, I would have never believed it until it actually happened. Wow, what's going on with my stuff here? Sorry. My TV out of nowhere, my monitor out of nowhere just cut off. Must don't like what I'm saying about the jab. That's weird. But yeah, so we're gonna get into it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. There you'll find a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Zero Hedge, and they report that public opinion is shifting, and they want action. I mean, I've been crying. I've been screaming from the rooftops about this for years. I mean, I had got my old YouTube channel, which they reinstated years later, but I had got my old YouTube channel nuked because of me reading studies and going over studies and showing the research what it was. And I was warning people about this. But a new Rasmussen survey of 1,158 likely U.S. voters conducted September 7th through 9th, 2025, with the plus 3% margin of error, reveals that 56% believe side effects from the COVID-19 shots have likely caused a significant number of unexplained deaths. Nearly 1/3, 32% say it's very likely. Only 35% still dismiss the idea, which is just weird to me. Just do some reading, man. Just read a little bit of the recent studies. You don't have to even look at the older studies that I've covered. Look at some of the most recent studies, and it shows that how 33% of the people still dismiss that. This shows that what was once called a quote unquote conspiracy theory has become the mainstream view. The majority of Americans now believe vaccine harms are real and widespread. Support for HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reflects this shift. Half of voters, 50%, say government health officials deserve criticism for their handling of the pandemic, while 42% even think CDC employees should be fired for their role in misleading the public. I'll take it a step further. Not only should they be fired, but they should be prosecuted and put in jail for what they did. Especially Fauci, especially Dr. Fauci. But among those who strongly believe the shots caused deaths, over 70% want CDC firings. Partisan divides remain. 70% of Republicans, 46% of Democrats, and 54% of independents think the vaccines likely cause deaths, but the skepticism crosses party lines and racial groups. In fact, Black, 64%, and Hispanic, 57% voters are even more likely than white voters, 54%, to suspect deadly vaccine effects because we're not that trusting in government. That's why. According to the survey, RFK Jr. is viewed favorably by 45% of voters with strong support among Republicans and independents, even as Democrats turn sharply against him. The takeaway, a credible, nationally representative poll now confirms most Americans believe COVID-19 shots have killed many people, and they want accountability from the CDC and government health leaders. And this is just killing people. This is not talking about the major side effects that I was just alluding to. It's crazy that no one has been held accountable for this yet. It's crazy that Fauci made millions upon millions of dollars from this jab and they didn't never call it a conflict of interest. It's crazy that it was a test. It was a test product. It was an experiment that they put on the American people and even mandated in some cases, like in the military, and some jobs were like, if you don't get it, you're going to lose your job. And no one, zero people, absolutely no one has been held accountable. I don't understand how that could be. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. Leave y'all comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.